Hello everyone, it's a pleasure joining in for the International Women's Day celebration honoring the strength and the resilience of women worldwide. Yet amidst our celebrations, we are confronted with a pressing issue, escalating level of climate crisis and the disproportionate impact on vulnerable communities, especially women and children in developing countries. Sharing a story of Bududa where the rain fell and justice didn't. In Bududa, mountainous region in eastern Uganda, beautiful scenery, but they are not safe because in Bududa, beauty has a cost. And for years, the cost has been lives. In March 2010, a landslide buried the village of Napsi. More than 350 people died that day. Entire families were wiped out in minutes. October 2018, another landslide hit Bukalasi sub-county. Over 45 lives lost. In June 2019, Buwali sub-county, 6 people died. More than 400 families displaced. December 2019, Bushika sub-county, 40 lives gone. Over the past 14 years, more than 500 people have died in landslides in Elgon region. Thousands more have been forced from their homes. And yet, these disasters keep coming, relentless, expected. That's the word people use, expected, because they had warned the government again and again about the instability of the slopes, about the changing rainfall patterns, about the need for resettlement, for early warning systems. But help was slow, too slow. By 2024, less than 7% of the people the government promised to relocate had actually been moved. Meanwhile, the rain kept falling. So in 2020, survivors did something brave. Led by Sammy Williams, they took the government to court. They argued that their rights had been violated. The right to life, the right to property, the right to a healthy environment, the right to safety. Their case was simple. You knew, you didn't act. People died. But that's the hardest part is justice didn't come quickly. It never does. And justice delayed, as we know too well, is justice denied. And Uganda isn't alone. Around the world, from Brazil to the Philippines, people are taking their governments to court demanding climate justice. As of 2022, more than 2,000 climate related cases had been filed globally, many by young people, some by children. They're asking one fundamental question: if our leaders sign climate agreements, are they actually obligated to do anything? In 2023, the United Nations asked the International Court of Justice, the ICJ, to answer that question, to clarify that countries legally owe their people and the planet when it comes to climate change. In December 2024, 96 countries showed up for public hearings. 11 regional blocs made submissions. It was historic. But here's the truth: an ICJ opinion isn't binding, it's not enforcement, it's not justice, and it won't stop the next landslide. The people of Bududa aren't just victims of nature, they are creditors in a global system of injustice. Uganda, like many countries in the global south, has contributed almost nothing to the climate crisis. Our emissions are a drop compared to the industrial rivers flowing from the north. And yet, when disasters hit, whether it's a hillside collapsing in Bududa or floods sweeping through Kampala, we pay the price in lives, in livelihoods, in generations lost. It's the same story told in different places. In 2022, one third of Pakistan was underwater, not metaphorically speaking, literally. 33 million people affected, whole towns erased. That flood didn't just expose a climate emergency, it exposed a moral one. The nations least responsible for climate change are suffering the most. We are all sailing the same troubled waters, but in very different boats. Vulnerable communities that contribute the least to climate change suffer the most. So the call for reparations is growing louder. And it's not about pity, it's not about handouts, it's about balance. The richest, most polluting countries made a promise in 2009 that they would deliver billions in climate finance to help vulnerable nations prepare and adapt. It's 2025. That promise is still unmade. But the debate has become more complicated. Some countries in the global south, like India and China, argue that they need their turn. They want growth, industry, progress, the same phase of development the West once had, fueled by fossil fuels. It's a fair argument until you are the one underwater, until you are the one burying your child because the hillside gave way. So let's be clear. Reparations can't be a two-way street of emissions. We cannot demand compensations for the harm done while continuing to harm others. We can't call for justice while defending pollution in the name of progress. That doesn't mean we stop developing, it means we leapfrog. We demand not just money, but technology, clean energy, skills, infrastructure that's built to survive the storms already know are coming. Because climate justice isn't about rewinding history, it's about writing a different future. For Uganda, for Bududa, reparations must mean more than aid after the fact. They must mean funding before disaster, legal systems that respond when the alarm is raised, not after the earth has swallowed lives, schools and clinics that don't sit in the path of mud and rain. And yes, we also have to look inward. We have to be honest about the systems that failed our people. The rain didn't just fall, the warnings were ignored, the relocation plans stalled. Justice doesn't only come from The Hague or New York, it must begin at home. So, if the world truly wants to take climate justice seriously, let's start here. Acknowledge the dead, pay what's owed, and work with us, not just to rebuild what's been lost, but to build what was never given the chance to grow. That's not charity, that's justice. Thank you.